I just don't think we can go back to like what it was like 2 years ago, knowing what we know now. Because obviously back then we didn't have to like have the constant thought in the back of your mind is like, am I going to get COVID every time I go out? Am I going to be putting someone else in risk? Is this a symptom of COVID? Like, obviously you just didn't have to think about that, so you just go about your day, but now it's always in the back of your mind. Like, even now that the restrictions are all it's lifted, it's always in the back of your mind. Like, you're always constantly thinking about, like, the things you're touching, the people you're sitting next to.
Before this, if you had a cold, they told you to go in. Like, people are going to, like, panic, people are going to get symptoms. I think this is normal now. I'm more scared of COVID now than what I was, like, before, like when it was really bad. Like, it's not until everything's calmed down and you realise people are still getting it that you think, still a thing.
You can't even go back to like the mindset that you had a couple of years ago. I don't think, because now your brains are like, after 2 years, your brains are like hardwired to constantly think about what you're doing.
And even though COVID's like been a thing, it's like affected loads of people, and it has been like a horrible thing to go through. Society hasn't like collapsed. Do you know what I mean? We've still kind of got through it. It's like, so I don't think there is a normal. Do you know what I mean? I think there's like a period of time where something becomes normal, but then something's always going to be there. Something is always going to happen to make that normal be not normal anymore.
It's just some of the stuff that people come out with. It's actually quite funny. Like,
it is.
The government's tracking it. The government's tricking it.
It is, right? It's laughable.
Okay.
Some of the stuff that people say. But I genuinely would love to sit and have a conversation with someone who has like the complete opposite ideas to me.
These doctors and nurses are doing like 11 hours plus shifts, saving people's lives, and they're getting paid like hardly anything. And it's not fair. It's like the work that they're doing, especially during the lockdown, especially during COVID. It was just so much work to put onto them. And they were being paid like hardly anything. Because some people earn money for doing nothing.
Do you know, honestly, I know it sounds a bit extreme, right? But I think the government on like literally every single country needs a full thing where they just get rid of everybody.
And just bring new people in.
Imagine you've planted some plants in like rubbish soil. No matter what you're planting there, they're gonna die. You know, like they're gonna die, and it's not gonna. Your garden's gonna look rubbish. Nobody's gonna want to come and frolic in the daisies with you because they're all gonna be black. And they need to do like a full redo of it. Yeah, they need a full redo of every single thing.
Personally, I think that they've definitely failed the nation as a whole, and their priorities are lay elsewhere where there shouldn't be.
Especially young people, like, in a way disregarded us, especially with like exams and with school. Like, we've missed so much time off school, and it feels like they don't really care about that in a way, because we went from like being really hopeful to like having no hope at all. And I think that was the most obvious thing that we saw throughout the pandemic.
Life is
Stressful. Complicated. Surprising.
Life is what you make it, unless you're being dealt like a rubbish hand.
the future is
unpredictable.
Non-existent if we don't do something.
music is
Great.
yeah
Perfect.
Amazing.
the best
Best thing ever made.
A lifeline.
a lifetime.
Ooh, I like that.
I think without it, the world would just be a very sad place.
Music's like the one thing that's always there. It's unchanging. Like, every day I know I can go to Spotify, put on a playlist, and it'll like influence my mood. It can uplift me, it can like calm me down. So it's definitely like that one constant thing that's always there.
Television is
unuseful. It's boring even if you want to be entertained. And then if you try and like figure out like facts on the news, it just doesn't, none of it ever makes sense. And like none of it, it's just unuseful. It's the only way to describe it. It's there, it's unnecessary. Like none of it like matters, like of anything that's on it. The only good channels is the music channels, and you have the radio for that, and you have streaming things for that, so there's no need.
Saturday night when I came in from work, my dad had Gold on, it was Mrs Brown's Boys. Then last night I was going through the things and it was the exact same episode on at the exact same time.
So my cousin's now got an American accent because she's watched so much American TV. I how dare I sit down and watch TV?
I can't remember the last time I did.
Because it used to be like a proper family thing, didn't it? You'd like sit down and you'd eat your tea in front of the TV. No, it just never happens.
I know, just on like a more personal note, like during the pandemic, like I was able to access like CAMS services, but even then, like I know, like I've waited quite a few months. I know other people that have been on waiting list, and also all of my like appointments were over like a Zoom platform kind of thing, which just isn't really effective. You're not getting the same treatment and care. So I think just the whole way that mental health services have kind of been dealt with throughout lockdown wasn't the most effective.
When we were in the house and we were feeling like proper trapped when I was in my house, and then I used to go on walks and I could just kind of like do my own thing and just like watch like the birds and the trees, and like it sounds silly but like it really helped, and it was like getting fresh air and it just proper cleared your mind, and it really helps anxiety going on walks. And we went on a walk once and it was when it was snowing and it was like 1 a.m. and we saw deers like running over, do you remember? Like running over this little snowy field, and it's the best thing I've ever seen, and it wouldn't have happened if I didn't like just start to leave the house more.
I know I made like actually quite a few friends through the pandemic, and I think our friendship group became a lot stronger, and like because we were like, when we were only allowed to go on walks, we go on walks like every week.
We went from doing everything on Zoom, and then we went to, I think it was the Rule of Six, and we used to do little picnic type things on the field where I live. It was just that moment kind of going from the Zooms to like seeing each other in person.
I think we really like got through it together, and that's what made our bond like even stronger. So I think we've come out the other side a bit better off.
What would you ideally like to see in the future?
Better wages. £6.56 for me is a joke. CO2 emissions lowered to like 0, which will probably never happen ever.
Tax the billionaires.
But it's tax all the billionaires, take all their money.
Yes, what are they needing for? There should be a cut.
That's what I'm saying. It gets to the point when you have so much money that money loses its value.
As soon as you get 10 million, why do you need to carry on?
If people would stop bombing each other, things would be a lot simpler.
I think we do need to be very aware of what we're consuming and what we're reading. Yeah, especially with like social media, there's so many like infographics and posts that are shared like every day, and yet a lot of them don't like state their sources, so you just kind of accept it blindly.
I'm following Honesty on Instagram, so I get a lot of things off them as well.
Yeah, same. And it's like the statistics are really scary. And I think no one's, it's not sinking in.
There was these guys, right, when they did a test where they got some fish fingers from a shop.
They've got microplastics in it.
They're full of microplastics. Like fish, like, do you know, I'm scared to go to the fish shop. Like, what if I go there and I'm just eating like a plastic bottle in batter? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no difference. It's scary, man. I don't like it. I didn't know like what I was going to do or where I was going to go like beforehand, and now I have direction, and now obviously I'm in college and stuff, do you know what I mean? Like I didn't think I would ever go to college.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I've changed a lot, like, and my parents comment on it as well, like, you've changed so much, especially with like my confidence. And I think it is because we've been away from like everyone. I've had that time to like just do stuff for myself that I enjoy, express myself in ways that like feel authentic to me.
Before I was unsure, and now I'm comfortable like in myself, like how I dress, and now I just like I'm happy with like how I dress and what I look like and stuff, and I wasn't then, and I was really like unsure of like myself.
I think it's honestly opened up more opportunities. Like, I don't know why. I think maybe it's just because like since leaving school I've like really grown in my confidence, and I think that's what's like opened those doors for me, is just really putting myself out there.
It was almost like blissful. The slightest thing, just seeing my friends and meeting on a field, like brought me so much happiness that I wouldn't usually have appreciated those moments as much as I do now.